to Onesies, a podcast of one season wonders and blunders. My name's Andrew,
My name is Emily.
and we are back finishing up our Three's a Crowd season. Now, Three's a Crowd,
Woohoo!
the 1984 final uh, last last gasp of the Three's Company connected universe. We're done, and when we get done talking about these two episodes, Emily will tell us what we're watching next time.
Woohoo!
And so actually, much like the first two episodes, these episodes aired out of production order,
Oh,
which is interesting. Since they felt like real sitcoms. They had guest stars, they had locations. It was amazing.
yeah.
Uh, we'll be discussing episodes 21 and 22. Jack gets trash, nowhere near as amusing as the title implies. And episode 22, A Star is Born, which is about Jack. Well, we'll get to it. It's not really about Jack sabotaging Vicki. It's about
No, it was
Vicki.
weird. The description of it that I had read, that maybe we read last week, did not seem to match. Jack does not seem starstruck. He just
No.
seems, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
it's not what we thought, which was going to be another Jack tries to, or John Ritter gets more than Mary Cadorette does by pushing her out of the episode. Not him, hopefully he didn't do that and it was just bad writing, but we'll never know.
We will never know.
Because we are not going to be reading the Making of Three's Company.
We're
Edition.
writing it. We're writing it.
You could watch Three's Company. Like, hats off to you on your fucking Night Court watch through. I think a Three's Company watch through would leave you in an incurable state.
So, really quickly, and then we can talk about this. Night Court's a great show. The first season is better than any other show. That's before Larroquette even shows up. It's so good for about 5 seasons. And then it starts to go downhill. That's my thing.
Single scene in your experience of having watched all 9 seasons, plus the spinoff, is there a single scene, and I wasn't thinking when I said the spinoff, where Marky Post gives a minimally acceptable performance as an actor?
I know you hate Marky Post.
I like Marky Post as a human being.
Ellen Foley is about 10 times worse. So.
But Ellen Foley didn't get the character development. So
that's true.
There was less depth. There was less just endless flatness with Ellen Foley. It was.
Yes. I think that the character that Marky Post was playing was limiting her despite the character development, because I think the writing for her character was poor. I don't think that it has much to do. I don't think it has a lot to do with her acting necessarily, but it's more about what the material was that she was given.
Okay. Did this tangent make it into the episode, folks? Apparently
yes.
So. Apparently
it will.
Okay.
It will.
So, starting, Jack gets trashed. So, Jack butts heads with James on a radio debate show. That is a shitty, that's a very shitty, it's a
synopsis?
Shitty synopsis, thank you. But it was because I was also realizing it's a particularly shitty one because it removes Vicki's agency from the episode, which will actually be the driving dramatic force in the situation of the situational comedy.
Absolutely.
Boo.
And she does come back though.
Yeah.
And has some agency as well. But yes, in the middle, like at the beginning and at the end, it's built in. And at the beginning, it's the driving force for the whole episode. And at the end, whatever. Anyway, I don't like the synopsis particularly because it sort of just highlights like the end of the episode, but
Yeah,
there's not a
the
lot of
literal
discussion.
last scene. Yeah.
Yeah. So we start at the bistro. Jack and Vicky are putting flowers out on the table. Vicky's sneezing. Turns out she's got a cold. It's not from the flowers. um, put a pin in that. Uh, talking about Easy comes in with some mail, and Jack, while Easy is having personal space issues and telling bad jokes and laughing obnoxiously, Jack opens a letter and reads it. It is from the local trash company. They are increasing their fees by $25 a month. Yet again, conversation with Vicky. This is the third time it's happened in a year that they've raised their prices. And Jack is upset because he can't afford it. Like, small business owner, can't afford the additional charge. But if you don't pay, it's the only company in town that does it. If you don't pay, then your garbage just sits there stinking. And presumably, there's some city code about, leaving garbage. Like, you can't just not pay to have your garbage picked up, right?
Right. So,
Um,
okay. And oh God, I'm thinking ahead too much because I'm thinking about how this episode actually is a wonderful encapsulation of the 1980s. We'll get to it, but just like so it will come up later that the idea of municipal trash collection exists. I don't think there was private trash collection where I grew up
so
in
my
1984.
my guess is that cities, municipalities, whatever, incorporated things, they uh contract with people to pick up trash. So like, it's not individually like I'm paying the money to have my trash picked up. It's
I pay my city right
I
now.
pay my city taxes and that goes towards trash
Yes.
collection.
But also, you could have a municipal trash collection like our city, at least I think, does the garbage, but they contract out the recycling. They might
Mm,
contract it both out, but basically, it's the idea that I pay a bill to my city that includes trash and I think water, and that's it. And then they take care of that, and then recycling's
yeah,
in there,
yeah.
which will be described as the fucking hardest core communism in the world before we get done talking about this episode. Because, and I really, really don't know how, I don't know what the right way to have socialized a person in the 80s was, but at some level, not just sitting people down and being like, these guys are fucking lying idiots. You need to be ready to go out, and half the people you're going to meet, if they're white, are lying idiots.
Yeah.
Like, you can't trust them. You can't trust them to watch a child. You can't trust them to watch an animal. Like, you can't trust them probably to walk an old lady across the street. You can't trust. What am I saying? Like, but it's like, it's not. I mean, I remember this from grade school. I remember this level of argument from grade school.
Yeah.
This is what, you
I
know,
remember it from, I don't know, the internet in the last 4 years, 5, 6, 8 years. How long? I mean, we've circled back
yeah,
now, right?
we've, it's,
Like,
there,
communism exists in places that bailed the
sort of
United that,
communism.
that bailed the United States out multiple times. We owe lots and lots of money to China.
They're not white people. We don't have to pay them. Actual, you know who agrees with that? Every fucking Democrat except the squad. Except not even, I don't know, are there four on the squad? It's AOC wouldn't agree to that. Talib and the other woman.
Elon
Yeah, and Omar. They're the
Omar.
three who wouldn't agree to that statement.
And
Elizabeth
Bernie. And
Ward,
Bernie.
you hope. You fucking hope he would. But you know what? Noam Chomsky was fucking kids too, baby. Moving on to
Moving
this show.
on. We were doing so good about not talking about politics. Then Mr. Bradford had to bring communism into it.
But
God
not
damn
yet
you.
in the episode. Not
Not
yet
yet.
in the episode. It's just so
So
fucking
Jack
there.
is complaining about the bill. They're having this conversation about how it's been raised 3 times already. And Mr. Bradford comes in and he's like, "Oh, I'll pay that. Don't worry about it." Because Vicky and Jack are talking about going to city council. City council's meeting tonight. You should go and talk about it. And Mr. Bradford's like, "No, that's, you want to be on their good side. Yeah, you're a business owner. You never know when you might need something from the city, for the building or for the restaurant or some licensing. Like, you want to be on their good side." And Jack's like, "You're right." And there's a very not funny scene where Jack is agreeing. Mr. Bradford and Vicky are on opposite sides. Vicky thinks he should go. Mr. Bradford thinks he shouldn't go. And every argument that they make, he is on their side. Jack is like, "Oh, yes, Mr. Bradford's right. Oh, Vicky's kind of right." And they just keep going back and forth until Vicky is just like, "I'm done. I'm done with this conversation." She gets up and leaves. Uh,
It's
Mr. Bradford takes some jabs at his ex-wife.
it's worse than that. You're missing that is like, I'm sick at what you're saying. And then she gets up and leaves, and Jack's like, hey, you do have that cold anyway.
Yeah, you should take some medicine for that cold.
And then Mr. Bradford makes fun of his ex-wife and then says, what do you don't fucking go after a woman who's upset, you cuck. He's like, you let them go off, be upset until they realize like they fucking need you to be right, and then they come back and they agree with you. Be a
Yeah.
fucking man, Jack. Emotionally abuse my daughter like a fucking man. Yeah, when Jack was gonna go after her, and I noticed Ritter's new haircut.
Hmm.
Vicky will be wearing good wardrobe, great wardrobe for her, very good wardrobe, or not very good, great wardrobe for her, acceptable mid 80s wardrobe.
Yeah. Jack is wearing all black, and I think he looks pretty sharp. It's like a black polo and black
Yeah,
slacks. I think he
it,
looks really sharp in this.
this is the
Um,
episode, these episodes went through a lot of note, and you can see it, and a lot of it is about like Jack making more space for Mary Cadorette before
mhm.
the show's like, well, okay, I mean, let's not go fucking crazy. She can leave now. But whatever the notes were on EZ are like they were the person who didn't get EZ's part. And they're like ruining like as much as you can ruin it, EZ's not sweet really anymore. And there's opportunities for it and they skip them. And
Mhm.
instead, he's just braying and obnoxious. He
Yeah.
sounds like a donkey.
Yeah. It's and the personal space thing. Like when
Yeah,
he's telling Vicky that joke, he's like 2 inches from her and doing the braying laughter. Like it's like I feel uncomfortable watching
yeah.
this. I cannot imagine being in this scene,
It's
let
like
alone having somebody act like that in real life.
it's like Alan Simpson didn't want to do the show again. And he's like, oh shit. They they kind of fixed a bunch of the problems.
Alan Campbell, you mean?
Alan Campbell. Oh shit. They fixed a bunch of the problems. We might get renewed. Hang on a second, everybody. Easy's gonna yell in your face. It's very weird. We'll get the parents bickering. They mentioned Mrs. Bradford in this episode. We don't get Jessica Walter. We do get her next episode, thank goodness.
Yeah.
But they could have had her in this. Jessica Walter's like, no, no thanks. It's
Yeah.
okay. I saw the wardrobe. I don't want that. Uh, I don't want that for my real jobs. So then
So Mr. Bradford leaves
yeah,
after asking Jack not, or telling Jack not to go after his daughter. Vicky comes out like Mr. Bradford is still in the shot, and Vicky comes out
yeah,
from the apartment, and she is like, kind of back to normal. She's smiling and she's being pleasant. And Jack's like, "Oh, you've come around to it." And she's like, "Yeah, like my dad's right. You shouldn't go, but I'm going to go to the library and do some research, and I'm going to go to City Hall to talk to them about this. I'm going to go do some research. Bye." So great agency, fabulous. Love that for her. And uh, then we cut back to the kitchen later, right? And Jack is in there with Easy talking about how Vicky has been up in the apartment putting her speech together after having done the research. Oh, but before she even goes to the library, we get the scene with Easy and the mop where he's telling a joke and like laughing at it and shaking the mop and getting Jack all wet.
Yeah.
Very bad. Good reaction from John Ritter. It's not like over the top comedy reaction. He's like mad, which is funny. So Vicky's been writing her speech all day. She comes down into the kitchen and she's lost her voice from her cold. It had only been manifesting itself in her sneezing all over the place, which is disgusting considering they're in a fucking kitchen in a restaurant. She's just sneezing, not covering her mouth.
Told you, Jack's Bistro gets a D-. We know this.
It's nasty. So she can't talk and she's trying and we the audience can understand her, but the consensus is that she can't go talk to city council. They will not be able to hear her. So Jack is like, give me your speech. Thank you for doing all of the work. I will go deliver this speech right now. We cut to a new scene, a new setting, and it is the city hall with one large desk with 5 people sitting at it, and then maybe 10 people in the crowd.
Don't we have Bradford stop by? No, he doesn't find out
No,
about this yet. Okay.
not yet. So Jack hasn't entered yet. They're taking a moment of silence for a former council member who has
Yeah.
passed away. I saw this as soon as that happened. I was like, oh no.
Whoever
I
came
think it
up
had
with that was so happy with themselves in the writer's room.
we had I think established in the previous scene where he's in the kitchen that he has come down with Vicky's cold and it's manifesting with a snotty nose. So he walks into the room during the moment of silence and snots the place up, which is disgusting. People aren't saying anything to him but giving him the side eye. He
Because
sits
they aren't going to pay those people to speak. Come on now, be nice.
with the city council members. Somebody could be like, "Hey, moment of silence, shut up."
We'll talk about the city council. It's very strange.
Very strange. um, he sits down and he's like, "Oh, it's so quiet in here. What, did somebody die?" Which then I think the woman sitting next to him is like giving him a weird look. She looks like a rich old lady. I don't know who she's supposed to be. Again, none of them speak. The city council member or mayor, I don't know. The woman who does all of the talking. She tells Jack to shut up, essentially, not in a much nicer way because this is city council. They are elected officials. And they start talking about some leash ordinance for cats.
Which
Two
will
of the
we
men,
start?
two of the
It's
men on the council start bickering, and it's one guy's like they so very self-serving. Um, this has been initiated by presumably one of the city council members. I think what we're supposed to get from this is the one guy is annoyed that his neighbor, also on the city council, has a
his
cat
next
that
door neighbor.
yeah, has a cat that wanders around, goes into the backyard, gets dogs barking, creates a ruckus, and that cats should be on a leash when they're outside. The guy whose cat does that argues, well, when your wife is out around making tons of noise, like it bothers me too, insinuating that his wife is cheating.
Yes. Like, just like walk it like there's no it's a walk of pride. Like
It it's
It's
A
yes,
very strange personal argument to be having at a city council meeting.
it is. It's also not looking good for the episode.
Um,
Meanwhile, the council president is like, "Can you two shut the fuck up now?"
we've
And that
got
will
business to take care of. Yeah.
it will be most of her lines will probably relate to her telling them to shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
But this is now again. Make sure we don't go on too long, Emily. We need a tangent clock. We've gotten to see what city council meetings look like at every level now, right? Like back in the day, I bet you could watch your fucking major metropolitan city council on the local PBS, public
Hmm.
access, something. Now they're streamed online because of open records acts and things like that. You have a council, you have hearing business from the people, you have podiums. Jack stands up, he's like, "Hey, when do I get to talk?" And they're like, "What are you fucking talking about? This is where we work. You don't just get to come down here and talk." And then he's like, "Well, I want to talk." And they're like, "Oh yeah, of course you can talk. You're a citizen." And it's just like,
This is not how city council works anywhere.
not even in the 80s, not even in Ocean
Yeah.
Vista, California.
Yeah. There is a structure. Robert's rules of order are
Yeah,
in place.
it's
Like
obnoxious. Yes.
it's really, really formal. And I've been to city council meetings that are less formal. Prayers before the meeting starts to help God guide you in your decision making.
You know what they always say, Emily? You go with the one who's for slavery and against trim. Okay, so
So anyway, Jack gets up and he thinks that interrupting these bickering men is a good time to mention this thing. City council generally, as in a big city anyway, you're like having to sign up to speak.
yeah,
And you can
there's
talk about anything. It
cops
doesn't
to beat you
necessarily have to
up
be
if you're
something
not
on the
white.
agenda. Yeah, whatever. So, but Jack just stands up. So what he's reading from Vicky's cards. He's a little nervous. He's talking about the research that Vicky did, but it's nothing we hadn't already heard before, except that the town next door
Hasn't had
has
any
not
raise.
had a raise in their trash pickup prices in over a year.
Pin in
Pin
that,
in that.
unfortunately. Like, Jesus Christ, we don't need this pin, but buckle
Yeah.
up, folks.
Um, but it's the same company, and the two bickering council members keep going back and forth
Yeah.
about the same thing they had been talking about, which confuses Jack because he thinks that they're agreeing with him or they're disagreeing with him, that whatever they're saying is in relation to what he's talking about, which is absolutely not the case. And at least two more times the council president or whoever she's supposed to be has to tell them to knock it off. Hated this entire scene. um in the end, the council woman says, I appreciate that you brought this to our attention, but this is, if you really want to change something, you can come back when we're doing I don't even know, it's
The
not
trash
contract
contract
negotiation.
or
Yeah,
something,
I don't know,
right?
something
The contract review in 11 months.
in 11 months. And he's like, that's not going to work for me. If you guys want to get reelected, you better take this seriously because I'm taking this to the streets. How many times did he say the people are going to hear about this and blah, blah, blah. So he kind of leaves in a huff after threatening their jobs, threatening to them not to get reelected. And the woman is like, "Oh, don't worry about this, guys. This isn't something we should be too concerned about because the head of Allied trash pickup, trash collection services, whatever, is a really good friend of this council, and he does a lot for us." And they're like, "Oh, who is that?" And she's like, "James Bradford." Um, bum. This is the drama. Mr. Bradford did not acknowledge this when they were discussing it. Um,
It also makes you realize that they have no idea what Mr. Bradford is actually doing out there.
Yeah.
Also, one of the council members says maybe we should investigate it, and the council president says, "Oh no, 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 no! He bribes us. We will not be doing that." He
Oh,
forgot to
I did.
mention that, yeah, that
I
he's
guess
actively bribing them. Because he will try that
politics.
again. He will try that again this episode. So we then are going to cut to a very bad idea for a scene. Um, Jack is in the kitchen. Easy's doing all the work. Jack's ignoring him to rant about the council not doing anything about it. Easy tries to go deliver food, is interrupted by a customer looking for the food, to which Easy's like, perfect, here you go. Also, drop this off a table too. Jack then eventually Easy's like, can you fucking help me, dude? And
Yeah.
Jack's like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. So he goes to the Burt Reynolds table, table 4, the fucking consistency, the canon, the fucking continuity of the ironclad show Bible of Three's a Crowd. Same fucking table that Burt Reynolds was at. He takes it out and immediately starts rambling about the fucking trash thing, disgusting the people as they're trying to eat because he's talking about trash piling up and stinking.
Smelling and yeah, rotting and
They give him money to get the fuck out of there. He takes it as like a win. He then goes to the next table, does the same thing.
they get up and just leave without
Yeah.
paying.
Well, you know what? You go to a D minus, you run a D minus restaurant, you gotta be ready for that.
Um,
Then
then a guy at a table closer to the door says something like, maybe a restaurant isn't a good place to do this.
to
Have you
which
ever thought about going on beach talk? And in my mind, I'm like, what the fuck is beach talk? Because I forgot the element that they go on a radio show. And I was thinking it was like, at the one of the parks in London where they have like the speakers box where you get up and you can just rant for hours. I thought it was something like that, but at the beach. No, he is a radio talk show host. Come on the show. We take live callers so you can get feedback, you can garner interest, etc., etc. This guy looked familiar, but I
he
think he just
is,
looks like somebody.
well, no, no, sir, that is Ethan Phillips, who would go on to play Neelix for 168 episodes of Star Trek Voyager in makeup. But
Okay.
he was also in numerous guest spots. He guested on Numbers, maybe back when you were still watching it, to
I never watched it.
Eye Candy,
Surprisingly.
The Boys. He was in Lean on Me. He was in. So this is, yeah, this is. It's weird that he hasn't done any other series until then. But yes, so this is a. I didn't realize that's who it was, but once you
Once
see
you
him and
once
hear
you
him,
mentioned whatever character he was,
yeah,
I was like, oh, he's on Star Trek. I can see him.
yeah,
I can see him. I've never even watched Star Trek Voyager, and I
because you don't support women. We know. Okay, so actually, the show's all about women not supporting women because it was all about them pitting the sex pot against the 42-year-old old lady captain. Just, you know what? Everything's good, Emily. Everything in the world is just so good. It's always just been so good. Cool. So then,
so uh Jack gets invited on this talk show. He goes to the kitchen where Mr. Bradford is coming in. He's very excited to tell them, "Oh, have you heard of this radio station?" And Easy is like, "Oh, yes, they've got the greatest talk
calling
show." And
show,
Jack's
yeah.
like, "Oh, yeah, I'm going to be on that, blah 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 blah." And come to find out, the talk show that Easy is talking about is some call-in sex show, and it gets kind of gross where he's like, "Oh, are you going to be the local expert?" Burp, burp, burp. And Jack is like, "No, I'm going on this other radio show to talk about this other thing." And Mr. Bradford is listening and he's like, oh, let me help you with this. You can't just go and complain, right? You have to come with solutions. Like, what's the solution? And Jack's like, oh, that's a great idea. But I don't know what my solution would be.
What about municipal trash pickup, Emily?
And James is like, yeah, what if the city just does it themselves? And Jack's like, that's a great idea. And because he's not a great character, not a great person, he just takes it and runs with it without doing any research, without doing anything. So he's just going to say, I think the city should do it themselves. That's like literally verbatim what he says. But we'll get to that in a minute. Um,
Cut to the radio
Cut to
station.
the radio station, another new set.
A very detailed set with a foreground and background area. Like,
Yeah.
it went all out to save Three's a Crowd.
Didn't work.
Thank God. So, what if
No, not thank God, because if there had been a second season, we wouldn't be watching it now.
That's true. Also, what if it had actually started with Jack dying? That would have been fucking hilarious. That it's just about Mary Cadorette and her like having to take over the restaurant with her
I'd
mom.
watch that.
Yeah, you
I'd
would
watch that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, I just made it better by killing.
You did
Jack
just make it
Tripper.
better.
Jack Tripper's not dead. He's out there somewhere telling a fucking young woman on the beach why he voted for Trump.
The set for the radio station consists of a small square kitchen table with 3 chairs around it and
Yes.
3 microphones.
That's very weird when they have the detail of the full producer's box.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, we went all out, but we're still Three's a Crowd. So
very weird. There's going to be a running gag. I'm going to mention it once and I'm never going to talk about it again unless you have something particularly clever you want to say. I really don't want to lean on this. Jack is an idiot, doesn't know how things work. So when the producer is back in the producer's box and Jack sits down after being welcomed in, Vicki is with him. She goes to the host's office to listen. Whatever. Jack sits down, talks into the microphone very loudly, startling the producer. This will happen with Jack at least 2 more times and with Mr. Bradford when he comes in later. I hated it. Now let's move on. So they take some calls, or excuse me, they start talking, they go on the air, and Jack is talking about his, how upset he is, and he's using Vicky's research. Then they get a caller. He has been introduced as Jack Tripper, owner of Jack's Bistro. Jack is being silly, like, oh, here's the address. Blah, blah, blah. The first caller is calling for a reservation for 10 people at 8:00 tomorrow, which is Friday. We come to find out. And Jack is like, this really isn't the platform for this, but since it's a party of 10, we'll do it. So they're talking again. They get another caller. This time it's easy. Immediately going, how could you take a party of 10 tomorrow? We're completely packed. Again, this is not the forum for that. Hang up the call. Then we are surprised that Mr. Bradford comes into the room. That third chair I shouldn't have been surprised, but I kind of was. Mr. Bradford comes in. The host announces that Mr. Bradford is the owner of Allied Trash Services, whatever. And so he will be offering another perspective.
So the first time we read the synopsis for this show, I think it was even a couple episodes ago, because I remember us talking about like what could they possibly be debating about, like these two. And the idea, we thought that Jack won the debate and that caused controversy, but I think I was probably conflating it with one of the other episodes. Mr. Bradford, however, he's planted a Trojan horse. As Jack is sitting there going, did you never tell us this? He's like, oh, I never told you. Wow. Oh, who would have thought I never would have told you? Um, well, what do you propose? Oh no, wait. We get the reason that the other city. So I can't correctly present this the way it is in the show, which is laid out in such a way to open with, for a moment, in Mr. Bradford explaining that the town next to Ocean Vista has a much higher unemployment rate and therefore not enough money to pay for a while.
They eat less because they don't have as much money, so they produce less trash.
Yes. So as he's saying that, there's at least one point where it seems like there's going to be some weird, like, Mr. Bradford's like, what kind of asshole do you think I am? I'm not going to charge them more. But then it's actually, it's just business. They're business people, Emily. We should have one of them for president. Right. They can't afford to eat. They don't produce as much trash. He doesn't have to raise the rates. Not sure that's how city planning work, human waste, whatever, calculates. I've never heard it before. And I would think, given the idiotic lies you hear from libertarians, this would have come up if they actually promoted this idea. It's just some dumb shit for Three's a Crowd. Or not. Or it's, how the entire state of Mississippi works. Like, I don't know. Okay. So then Jack's just kind of like, well, that's still kind of bullshit though. And
Yeah,
Mr.
like he's like, just because we all have jobs doesn't mean so the classist nature of this argument sucks. There's not even any mention, and it's 1984. I can't speak to what the rent is in Southern California in 1984, but it's fucking expensive. It's always been expensive, I feel like. So, like, there's not even a, like, hey, I own a restaurant, I have my own business, and I still live in an apartment. You, Mr. Bradford, are presumably a millionaire, and you still live in an apartment. Like, there's not this notion that,
Yeah.
that
So,
people, even people who make money, can't afford a home to live in of their own. Like there's not whatever. I feel like this was very, very surface level, like the city council meeting. Everything, like they just did the bare minimum to get by. So anyway, do you have anything else to say about?
I mean, you're just saying you're smarter than all these people, to which I say, agreed. Okay. So
So
by
they
that
get
I
another
mean the people
phone
who made
call.
the show. So they
Yeah,
get
they get another phone call after Mr. Bradford's on there, and it's Vicki. She's calling from the guy's
you're
office.
skipping it. You're fucking skipping it.
What am I skipping?
Mr.
Am I
Bradford
blocking out?
saying, what's your idea, Jack?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
And Jack saying, what about the city just does it? And then Mr.
Again,
Bradford
again,
says,
again. With he's done no other research. It's not like this city in Pennsylvania does it, or the city in Florida does it. There's no other. Or 20 years ago when we did it here before we got this contract. Like there's no other research has been done. He presents the idea practically the same way it was presented to him by Mr. Bradford. Sorry. I
to
find this
which,
infuriating.
to which Mr. Bradford then goes, well, you heard it here first, folks. Jack's Bistro's idea is communism. We're going to be dirty reds. Jack is a subhuman commie bastard. You want to spend your money at his commie bistro, which Mr. Bradford co-owns.
He co-owns. So he's willing to trash his essentially son-in-law's business and his own business in order for a more profitable business to continue to be more profitable.
That's when his daughter calls and is like, you piece of shit. Why do I find out every episode you're a piece of shit and then I forgive you next week? You almost had me raped once. And he's like, oh, see, my daughter agrees with me. Hangs up the phone. At
He
this point,
comes,
I was looking forward to, I had like
yeah,
happy anticipation for the first time ever, though I still was
yeah.
like, she's going to get there and then she's going to be like, You're right, Daddy. Fuck the poor. But no, she
No.
shows up. He's mortified to see her. He immediately crumbles, which is a hilarious idea. I want you to think about the idea that all these fucking Republicans, these white men business owners that you always hear about, the backbone of America, are out there doing bad things, but as soon as their little girl sees them, they're going to crumble and do it. And it's like, sorry, she was too busy spitting on a little black kid. So he immediately crumbles.
And agrees to not increase the rates for trash pickup.
Even better. He acknowledges he tried to bribe Jack on the air. He
Yes.
says something about it being business and that he bribes lots of people or something to that effect. He agrees to waive the fee for Jack, especially since at some level, if Jack pays him in dirty cash, Mr. Bradford can launder the money. Were they all just money launderers of some kind? Were they all just laundering like fucking 80s biker drug money? Anyway, they then, Jack's like, well, what about everybody else, you fucking asshole? Like, I don't just want this for me. And Mr. Bradford's like, oh, fine, man, I'll pay everybody's $25 thing. And Jack's like, well, you heard it here first, folks. He just reversed the bill increase.
Yeah.
Allied Trucking agrees not
Yeah.
to increase our garbage.
Yeah. So, I mean, good on Jack. He doesn't call out the blatant classism, but he does get everybody in town sort of a break
Don't
on this
worry,
increase.
I'm sure Ocean Vista is the white town, so the less said, the better.
Fair enough.
Okay, and I think that's it. Like, because Jack gets sick, or maybe he coughs, or no, Mr.
He
Bradford coughs,
Mr.
and
Bradford has now caught whatever, and it's the final scene with the producer who he sneezes right into the microphone. The
the
producer
producer
goes
does
crazy and
better
like
physical comedy than
quits.
fucking
Yeah.
John Ritter ever did. Oh, are we gonna fight next episode? Okay, boom, boom, the fists are out. Okay, the fucking reincarnation of Don Knotts over here.
Oh,
Okay, so it's a weird episode. It's too bad Jessica Walter wasn't on it, considering it was filmed to be the last one. It's too bad it wasn't better, considering they made the next episode before this. The next episode is better. The
it's
next episode,
probably the best episode of the whole show.
it's the so it's the concept of the show, finally the concept of the show, but with Jessica Walter added.
Yeah.
Because when we started watching the show, we were like, it's about people, young people in love, not married, and what they do. And no, the first 6 episodes were about Jack and Vicki fucking
Fucking.
just so much.
Yeah.
And then they got notes to cut that out and didn't replace it with anything better, and then quickly removed Mary Cadorette from episodes, except for when Jack is lying to her and she's emotionally traumatized by it. That was her part for a large chunk of this series.
Yeah.
But this episode, we'll still have Jack fucking up Vicky's shit a little bit, but
A little bit. But also repairing it.
repairing it, and
Like
also
he tries to go back and fix it.
he's also not coming from the wrong place,
Right.
which we will get to.
Which the description of it made me think he was coming from the wrong place.
Right.
But
He
he's
is
not.
He is not.
So again, when I say that this is the best episode, I think the writing is fine, the acting is serviceable, there is some good physical comedy, but also the characters are like there's not like a miscommunication that could be easily solved by just talking, by expressing yourself. It's like one guy's an asshole, it's not a main character, and everybody else is just kind of doing their character, right? Like even Mr. and Mrs. Bradford, their bickering is better.
The bickering's better. It's less, well, because it has a little bit more content. Like
Yeah.
when we first noticed their bickering, we're like, oh, is this gonna be okay? No, it wasn't, because immediately they turned it into, I hate you. I hate you more. I hate looking at you. Well, I hate looking at you more. You're ugly. You're old. And it's like, that's the level
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
bickering.
When they could use that sort of tension and that sort of conversation style, if you will, to really reveal a lot more about the characters and their marriage and sort of their history. Like
Right.
they were married for a considerable amount of time, presumably, but they just did it bad. They just did it badly. The writers did them dirty.
Writers did them dirty, but
And you could introduce all of that history without it going anywhere. It just gives the characters more depth
just want to point out that what we would have learned was that she cheated on him once and they got divorced, and he cheated on her all
multiple
of the
times.
time.
There's also a scene in here where he says to Vicki, like, Mr. Bradford says to Vicki, like, I just want to support my only daughter. No, it was the last episode. It was in the last scene where he had this business and he's just trying to make enough money to support his little girl. He's not going to be here forever. I just want to support my only daughter. And I was thinking, you've got kids. You've got other kids. You might not know, but you've got other kids. Like he is the type of guy who fucks around and gets women pregnant. Like, no, baby, it feels better without a condom. Just let me stick the tip in. Come on. Like, that is Mr. Bradford. You
I
know
mean,
it.
yes, I know it, but that's also 55 to 58% of the male population.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what am I saying? No,
More than that.
it's so much more than that. That's
So,
probably in the
so much
fucking,
more.
like, that's Ben Affleck. What are you talking about? Like, that's in the 80s. Like, Matt Damon is the one guy in that group who didn't do that, and he's still a piece of shit. Like, nope, you're right. I'm sorry. I was thinking about this wrong. I was forgetting
You're forgetting
how much men hate
Ben
women.
Affleck. Yeah.
I'm forgetting how much men hate women as the default. I'm sorry. I apologize.
So
Um,
anyway, we talked a lot about this episode without talking about this episode.
yes. So we open with, and so again, we are in a somewhat new show. Vicki
Yeah.
gets home. She is excited to be trying out for this thing. She gets out her tap shoes, does her.
Hmm.
Mary Cadorette's a dancer. I
She's
told
a
you Mary
dancer.
Cadorette's a dancer.
I was so excited that she got to do a little dancing and like show off some of her other talents. This is
Yeah,
great.
she does it.
I was not expecting it.
She's
I was so
wearing
happy.
some 80s clothes. She looks like she's wearing an outfit that a
She looks
college
like
student.
she's wearing an outfit that Paula Poundstone would wear to do stand up in the 80s.
I mean, yes, but
She looks
I
like
think the top is a little bit brighter than that, but yes, agreed. Okay, so
she's got a fucking tie too. Like
she's
it's
got a top. It's
Paula
that.
Poundstone.
Yeah.
It's Paula
Well,
Poundstone.
it's think about the fact that she was dressing like Donna Reed's ugly neighbor 2 episodes ago. Okay, like
Yeah, yeah.
okay,
So she's tap dancing on their floor. Not good for the floor, but I'll let it slide. It's the
it's
last episode.
also, dude, it's Bradford's apartment. Fuck
It's
him.
Bradford's apartment. Mr. Bradford rings the doorbell while Mary Cadorette is dancing. Jack gets the door and he's like, "Oh my God, do we have some exciting news?" And he's like, "I've already heard it. She called me." So he comes in, gives her a hug. He's so proud of her. Brought her ballet slippers from wherever he was storing her ballet slippers. Seems kind of creepy to me. Whatever. Um, and then Mrs. Bradford shows up again wearing a beautiful dress. She looks great. She's also very excited. And she has a plan. This is what we are going to do for your audition. And it's some like weird, sexy number, which
It's yes, it's a weird. It's not a weird. I mean,
jazzy,
it's a jazzy,
sexy.
sexy number from a black woman, which gives Jack a fucking hard on, which is hilarious. Mr. Bradford's like, "You're acting like them," and Jack's like, "Oh my god, can I see that again?"
this scene, though, Mr. and Mrs. Bradford are arguing.
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford wants her daughter to do this sexy number because sex
Yeah.
sells.
Yes.
Mrs. Bradford then demonstrates the
Yes.
sexy number for the group, which I love because she
Yes.
was a singer dancer person as well. Um, Mr. Bradford wants her to do a solo from Swan Lake, where he then does some physical comedy, which
Yes.
I found good.
It is, and we saw this with when Mr. Bradford was talking about being a theater kid.
Yeah.
Like Mr. Bradford being a boxer, like, yes, it fits with him being a piece of shit, right? Like, but it doesn't, the theater kid, like theater kids were still theater kids in the 50s and 60s, really in the 50s, right? Like there are a lot of theater kids who have James Dean stories, right? Like theater kids. We never really get to see that, and we don't mention it here, but we do get the physical comedy that Robert Mandan does with that.
He
And it
does, he gets up
is
on his
he's
tiptoes and he's kind of moving his arms.
excited.
It's so, again, coming from a good place.
Yeah. He's really excited about it. It's very
It's wholesome almost.
it's as wholesome as this show has gotten. It's as wholesome as their relationship with their daughter has. I mean, there's an
They each have their own sort of things in mind, and but there's not that element where they're competing to be the better parent.
right,
So they have ideas about what's going to be the most successful way
right,
to audition for this thing, but it's not out of competition for her success.
right.
It's very good
Hold on. And
in the
then
bickering.
Vicky's like, well, thanks for all your ideas, guys, but I'm like a fucking grown ass woman and I know what I'm gonna do. So I'll see you after my audition. And
Yeah. And she's tap dancing, and they're like, tap dancing? Woo!
because that's what they do in their commercials, is dancing.
Because they do singing and dancing, we learn. So, Mr. and Mrs. Bradford, this is the scene where they're sort of passing off jibes toward one another. After Mr. Bradford does the Swan Lake dance, Mrs. Bradford says, "She was a swan. You look like a turkey." Not overly.
Better? I mean,
I mean, it's a silly, again, wholesome little jibe, right?
right.
Um,
We do get a comment about Mrs. Bradford being 36
yeah,
now.
Mrs. Bradford is claiming to be 36.
She's claiming
Now,
to be 36.
how old would Mary Cadorette be then?
Mary Cadorette would then be no, she just had her when dude.
Was 12? 16?
No, it would have been 12. And 58% of the American voting public agree with that as being okay. So, and
Megan, what's her name? Doesn't think that's as bad. It's not as bad. Megan Kelly. She's not 8.
see, this is interesting for
Andrew.
me because, like, I've
We haven't
known
talked about politics.
my whole life that men were awful monsters. But like, you ladies, you could be like, oh, you we still show up for each other. And then it's, oh, we still show up for each other if we're what? Oh, no. No, you don't even show up for each other either. Isn't white supremacy good? Yes. The question will be from Emily's look right now is, I can't tell if she's just like, I can't believe that he interrupted me when I'm saying we need to not get off track, or if she's thinking about whether or not it's worth the work to take all of this out.
I'm gonna leave in the part where you say white supremacy is good, obviously. I'll take out the part where you say no, it's not good, blah, blah, blah. But I'm gonna leave the part where you say it's good. I'm gonna take out the part where you say you're just joking
Well,
because you're frustrated and the world is shit.
We would have so many more listeners if that were our platform. Okay, we'd be fucking rich. We'd be millionaires like Mr. Brad. Okay,
Yes.
so they then wait around
the apartment, which I thought was very weird.
It's very strange because we are getting a little bit of new energy to this episode, but we are still in the same places. So what we
Yeah.
didn't get to see, like last episode, we saw some really bad restaurant stuff coming off of some really bad restaurant episodes. So it's like, was there good restaurant stuff on this show at any point in time? I
I
can't
don't think so.
remember. Probably not. But this, we've had the apartment, we've had ups and downs. Like the apartment's been was the central set when it was all about fucking.
Yeah.
So now Vicki gets back. They didn't they didn't care about her dancing, but she got the part anyway.
Yeah.
Everybody's excited.
There's a dumb gag about like, what are you gonna say? What is, what are you gonna do? And she just goes, hi. And they're like, stop saying hi. What are you gonna say? And she goes, hi, like three or four times. And then it's like, no, that's my line. I get to say hi. Um, and so they're all kind of disappointed that it's not a song and dance thing, but they're still excited for her. She gets to talk on camera. This is going to be a national commercial. This is going to be great. And again, everybody's being super supportive. Everybody's super excited. There will be nobody trying to undermine this thing. Nobody will try to undermine it. I think this is fabulous. I'm very happy. Like, this show just set the bar so low that any sort of like, even mediocrity, it's like, oh my God, the parents are supportive. They're at least being more creative in their sort of jibing with each other. Jack is not miscommunicating or trying to undermine or trying to outshine her. She got to showcase some of her talent, even though she doesn't get to do it in the commercial. This is great. There's no easy in this, too, right? He's not in this at all. I don't think we get a kitchen scene. I think
I
it's
don't think
the
we just
apartment
do
and the airline set.
yeah. Um, okay, so we are going to cut to the airline set where
Hmm.
Vicky is showing up. She's excited to get started. Jack is there with her. He meets some PA. Um, and then we meet the director, who is played by Stuart Pankin, who is
He's a familiar character actor
he's a familiar character actor
in the 80s
in
and
the
probably
80s
90s.
and 90s. He seems Canadian. I'm just going to say it. Okay, so anyway, he does. He seems Canadian. Okay, so very deep cut, folks, to the Dracula the series season and Freaks and Geeks. One of our
Yeah.
establishing things. So anyway, Canada Stuart Pankin plays the director, and he is going to
He's going to be a monster.
he's going to be a monster. We're going to get a build up to him being a dick. Initially, he's going to be like really nice to Vicky. He's going to be love bombing her. Um, so this is a very accurate, we've discovered, portrayal of a director, which I thought was a vibe on a show. I'm like, was Dave Powers incompetent and not like this? But like, this is a very traditional rendition of a shitty fucking power mad director. It's like Brett Ratner behind the scenes.
We
So,
also get the dynamic of the CEO or somebody of the airline is in the room or
oh
around.
yeah,
And so anytime he's around, the director completely shifts gears and is pleasant and nice and is a yes man. He turned into a yes man for this CEO. Um, and he's somebody too. I recognize him. He was in a storyline of Queer as Folk back in the knots, the American one.
okay.
Um, and yeah, so they start to record the shoot, and Mary Cadorette, as you've mentioned, she was being treated very well. She keeps sort of doing little things and messing up, which I'm assuming is not uncommon on a set for any kind of media. Um, where you're having to
She's
reshoot,
an
especially when these
amateur.
people these people are not actors, right? So slowly, not so slowly, the director loses patience with her because she's hitting him or whatever. And at some point, he gets very mad and yells at her. And then she's like scared of messing up again. And so she messes up again. And Jack steps in. Again, very noble, very noble. Jack steps in and is like, don't talk to her that way. Why are you being an ass? You've scared her. And then Vicky is like, I can stand up for myself. It's fine. She has demonstrated that she cannot stand up for herself. So that's why I'm saying it's cool for Jack to step in. I mean, it's cool anyway, but like she has had demonstrated that she was not in a place where she could stand up for herself. So Jack steps in. The guy gets mad at Jack and asks Jack to leave. There's a physical altercation. Oh, the guy, I did find it kind of funny, the director doing the belly bump to bump Jack
Yeah.
back, and then Jack tries to return the belly bump and then gets knocked back. I thought that was funny. No, you're no selling it.
It was fine. I mean, yes, it was funny for a, C-level sitcom, which is fine.
I can see a silent movie where somebody much heavier playing on the weight thing is the same thing is happening with Harold Lloyd and some big fat guy. Like I can see the same thing happening and it being funny. Maybe that's what it is.
We haven't talked about the Harold Lloyd
Okay,
rate.
I was trying to remember which one wasn't problematic. I can't remember. I can't remember which one's not
Oh, I'm
problematic, but
sorry.
he's the
So it was Harold Lloyd and Fatty Arbuckle, or yeah, there you go. Okay. So, but no, I mean, yes, it's just that then the subsequent thing is obnoxious, and I was like,
yeah.
I wonder if this is Emily's fucking gag, and I'm like, yeah, apparently it's gonna be.
No,
So
it's funny, but ultimately he does belly bump him, knocks the director over into a light, tries to help him up, but he's so heavy he can't lift him up, so he drops him again. Not so good. Cut to later that day, the next day. Oh, Vicky's fired.
yeah,
Vicky's fired at the end of that scene. The next day, they're in the director's office. Maybe it's the next day. Talking about replacing Vicky, or maybe it's later that day. But before they can find a replacement for Vicky, the CEO comes in and he's like, I liked that Vicky. She was great. In fact, I've rewritten a script to include her. And again, because the director is an ass kisser, he's like, such a great idea. Da 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 da. You know, I just have to call her and she'll be right back. And the guy's like, in fact, fire the other guy, the guy playing the pilot. I'm giving Vicky all of his lines, and then we're going to add another actor from the plane. So Vicky will be interacting with a passenger on the plane. Give her this script, make sure she has it memorized for tomorrow, which is when we think the director has to go begging. The PA guy is there, thinking that he's going to have to be the one to do the begging, right? Um, but before anybody has to do anything, there's a phone call because this is how it happens. And it's Jack Tripper on the phone, and the director's so happy that not only, or he's not on the phone, he's in the office. Not only does he not have to call Vicky begging, she desperately wants her job back, and so her boyfriend is coming to apologize to me. So he again turns into an asshole, turns it into a power play, which and just makes him look like more of an asshole. Um, and Jack comes in with jelly donuts, which we had overlooked because it is
stupid.
stupid and
Yeah.
doesn't really go anywhere, but he wants jelly donuts. So Jack gives him jelly donuts. He seems pleased, but as Jack gives him more information, he smashes the donuts and tosses them aside, which makes Jack feel uncomfortable. Again, this is the power play. He's apologizing for what had happened, knocking him over, having an argument, whatever. And the director, furthering the power play, say it louder, say it louder. Um, Puts his feet up on the desk and is like, I can't believe you think you can apologize to me and get your girlfriend her job back. Blah blah blah. Her job. She doesn't lose her job as a
Flight
uh,
attendant.
flight
Yeah.
attendant, but she's lost her job, her role. And actually, this is when the CEO comes in and he's like, "Oh, just one thing. Make sure Vicky has uh this memorized for tomorrow." That's when he comes in, which lets Jack know that Vicky is being rehired. And so kind of funny, Jack turns it into a power play, forces the director to apologize.
Hmm.
It's only amusing because it's good to see the bad guy get his
Yeah.
comeuppance. Um, um, but in this power play, he also ends up with the role of the passenger, um, because the director realizes that he got caught in his lie. So he offers Jack the role of the passenger, which Jack is excited by. And this is the description of where the description comes in. And I was like, oh no, Jack is going to turn into a shithead. He's going to do something and he's going to fuck this up for Vicky because he's too big for his britches. He says two words. Yes, he does fuck it up, but he doesn't fuck it up for Vicky. He fucks it up for himself.
Yeah.
Um, so we're back on the set. Vicky has her lines memorized. She is shining and wonderful and doing her thing. But Jack is getting little notes from the director. Oh, because the director has to be nice and can't shout. That's part of the agreement. Um, Vicky's
Hmm.
delivering her lines
Yeah.
perfectly. So this is again, they're in television, they know this. I don't know in 1984 how much normies would know about television production or commercial production. You can film two people in one commercial separately unless they are literally in the shot together. And even then, you can splice things together. So, but seemingly this all has to be one take. So Vicky has to be perfect and Jack has to be perfect in delivery. And Jack can't get it right. And it turns into a dick measuring contest between him and the director. Jack is having to remind him, you said you wouldn't shout, blah, 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 blah. Um, and I don't even remember. But Vicky does a great job.
I think he does a great job. Does Jack knock more shit over when he leaves or no?
He knocked shit over in the previous scene when he left the
Okay.
director's office. I don't know about this one. I don't remember
Okay,
him
no,
knocking stuff
because they
over.
leave together because they're like, oh, you know what? It's fine. It's fine.
Oh no, because the CEO comes in and
Yeah.
is like, "This is perfect. This is great. I love this." So they leave together,
Cut
and
to
we cut
watching the
to
commercial
watching the commercial in the apartment again
with mom and dad
with
because
mom and
this is the
dad.
new, you can just see the advertisement for maybe the couch will even be in the fucking opening credits next season, baby. Season two. Here we go.
So
Commercial comes on.
they're waiting for it to come on. They're watching it. Vicky does a great job. Cut to the scene where Jack is supposed to be like, "Excuse me, miss," or whatever he says. And it is not Jack. Not only is it not Jack, it's a black guy.
It's a black guy. It's in
And
1985. We're fine with
they
this joke.
they had the the CEO had said something to the director about how Jack changed the entire complexion of the scene. So as you can imagine, that gets mentioned.
By
Jack tells that to
many.
Mr. Bradford, and then we see that Jack is replaced by an African American gentleman, and Mr. Bradford laughs that Jack had changed the complexion of the scene. You certainly did change the complexion. Whatever. I'm not going to linger on it. Found it problematic. Whatever. They gave another black actor some lines. You know what?
Hey,
They gave a black actor some lines. Um, then there's a phone call, and Jack's like, "Oh shit! Oh, I told my mom to watch. That's got to be her." What I find equally as troubling is that through the one-sided conversation we hear from Jack, Jack's mom doesn't recognize that it wasn't Jack, that it was a black man. We don't know anything about Jack's mom.
I mean, I'm waiting for your dissertation after you finish your Three's Company rewatch. This is out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
He
We've
is on
never
the
even
phone.
talked about his mom
We've
before.
never talked about her. She's never met Vicky. Presumably dad's still
because
alive.
because they are more conservative and they wouldn't agree. with the lifestyle, right? Like, isn't that sort of the thing? Oh, the ant. It was the ant in like the
And
first or
yeah.
second episode.
But then yeah, and the show ends with Jack on his regular call with Ma that we've apparently are going to do next year, while the Bradfords fucking chill on the couch. And this is a 4.5 person sitcom now, or a 4.5 person family. It's fucking weird.
It's really fucking weird and no easy this episode at
No.
all.
So audiences didn't go for it, and
Yeah.
the show was canceled.
Yeah. Da 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 da
We
da.
talked briefly about how there was a proposed third spinoff as a sequel series to the Ropers that didn't happen. But I do wonder how close this got to no, because it couldn't have gotten very close to renewal, because they started airing reruns that fall of the show.
Oh, wow.
Like, yeah. So, oh, sorry, everyone. Networks used to run reruns of their own shows in the summer
Hmm.
because they didn't have reality TV. Because, I mean, we were less stupid. Anyway, moving on
Moving
to
on.
how much you love this show. I'm afraid it's not out on UHD yet, Emily, but
Oh.
perhaps you can kickstart the conversion from the VHS masters to
Hmm.
4K. But I
Well,
believe you have an announcement.
I do have an announcement. I'm so glad that we are done with Three's a Crowd. I'm sorry for everything I've ever said about John Ritter. Um, Next season, season 22, we will be watching. We love us some ABC, don't we?
Oh
We will be
God.
watching ABC's 1998 legal slash comedy drama Maximum Bob, starring Beau Bridges, Liz Vassy, Sam Robards, Kirsten Warren, Raven, Larry Moore Kelly. Uh, I've only ever heard of Beau Bridges. Oh my God, about a based on an Elmore Leonard novel.
Yeah.
Um, uh, Beau Bridges is plays an ultra right wing judge known for giving the maximum sentence to his defendants. Um, however conservative he might be, his wife is has psychic powers, um, and all sorts of other weird stuff. A public defender comes up from the city. Presumably, this takes place in the Panhandle, where things are a little bit more country. Than Miami. Um, so it's going to be a fish out of water tale. It will be a conservative fucking festival of bullshit. I can't wait to make you watch this. It is only 7 episodes, I think,
Mm-hmm.
but it is an hour long.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very much looking forward to Maximum Bob. Thank you to Mr. Emily for recommending this.
Hopefully he'll have time to consider our offer for the guest spots.
He is considering it. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So that could be funny. Um, that would require me to do a lot of editing, though, I think. So maybe not. Maybe I'll rescind that offer. Okay, Andrew, it has been such a pleasure watching Three's a Crowd with you. Uh,
La-
See you next time when we talk about Maximum Bob. I will see you in television land.
See you in television land,